from Illinois Carry. Want to welcome Valinda Rowe. How are you, Valinda Rowe?
Doing great this afternoon. How are you doing?
I am fantastic as well. Thanks so much for joining us today. And I want to talk about some of the news stories that we're seeing here regarding the anniversary of concealed carry in Illinois. But I have to ask you first, how was iGold, Valinda?
It was great. We had a great day, and there was something very different happened at iGold this year it was setting a new precedent. Never happened before. And that is when we had our people who attended the event had a message card to drop by to our new governor, Governor Bruce Rauner. We kind of not really sure where his stance is on a lot of different topics. And so we had a message card for each individual to sign and drop by the governor's office. In the past, if you recall, we were met with closed doors and I don't know about armed security, but security across the door, and we weren't allowed into the inner office of the governor. And this year, the staff of the new governor opened the doors, propped them open, and we could freely come and go, drop off our message cards, friendly staff, warm smiles welcoming us and taking our message cards. A first. That is a first that we have ever seen in the history of Illinois Gun Owner Lobby Day. We call it the new open door policy.
That is
the new
awesome.
Governor.
And look, elections have consequences. We talk about this and some of the negative consequences when an anti-gun politician gets elected here, but the other side of that coin, elections have consequences, and when gun owners turn out, when we get a pro-gun elected official in there, when you are all of a sudden able to even have a conversation, Valinda,
yes, and the conversation part earlier that day, the governor had invited the organizers of Illinois Gun Owner Lobby Day to meet with him for a conversation, and we had a list of our concerns and the issues that we're facing, and we had the opportunity to sit down with him in his office and go over those concerns. Again, that is a first in decades in Illinois.
Absolutely. So with this success in mind and with the anniversary of Shall Issue Concealed Carry, we are seeing some stories here. Chicago Tribune, some initially opposed officials have now shifted to support the law. Least surprising headline, for me anyway, that I've seen in a while, Valinda. In fact, I've seen a variation of this headline in every state that's adopted Shall Issue Concealed Carry.
Well, and you mentioned the other states. Back when we were doing our town hall meetings, going around from county to county, educating people on the right to carry, we would quote officials from other states who had officially been opposed to concealed carry, how they had changed their mind down the road after the law was passed and it went well. So we quoted people in other states. Now we have officials in our own state that we can quote, saying, I was opposed to this, I had bad feelings about this, but now I've changed my mind because here we are a year into having licensed concealed carry, and it has not been a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Fred Hayes, he's the president of the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police, said, in speaking with small-town residents, I've had to invest a lot of time educating the public about this fear that they feel, where often the fear is unfounded. He added that some people in the suburbs may base their fears on pop culture and TV shows, dramatizing dangerous crimes. He said in his professional and personal experience, city dwellers seem less affected by that notion. Hayes, who previously opposed the law, now does not.
Yes. And that I think is huge. And we knew this would happen. We told them this would happen, and now it has happened. It's not been a problem. Mr. Hayes, president of the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police, there were some law enforcement that were leery about this. And we explained to them back then, if you travel to any other state, you will see it has not been a problem, and it's not going to be a problem here in Illinois. One of the things that, one of his quotes that I kind of disagreed with was the reason there is a fewer number percentage-wise inside Chicago and the surrounding suburbs that have applied for the concealed carry licenses.
Mm-hmm.
And he attributed that to the fact that they don't feel like they need it. That's paraphrasing his words, but they don't fear the crime like people in the suburbs do. I totally disagree with that. I think one of the reasons we have a lower number inside the city of Chicago is because the training is so stringent. There's a 16-hour training requirement to get the license, and there must be live fire training, and there are no open public ranges inside the city of Chicago. That is a huge detriment to require a certain kind of aspect in the training and then deny people the access to that.
It most certainly is, Valinda. And, this is an issue that we've been talking a lot about because, we have these folks who proclaim themselves to be gun safety advocates. If they were gun safety advocates, Bloomberg would be spending hundreds of millions of dollars on ranges. He would make sure that there were ranges that would be open for the public so that people could be safe and proficient and knowledgeable with firearms.
Exactly. And there are, I believe, some private ranges inside the city of Chicago, but they're for law enforcement only. And I'm thinking, if they're really concerned about this, maybe they should do like some of the law enforcement do in some of the other states, sheriff's departments where they have training for women for firearms. They have, they open up their ranges so many hours a month or a week or so for people to come in and get the training that they need. You would think they would be offering it themselves.
You would think, and yet it's almost, Valinda, like you say, it's almost like they're trying to keep people away from being able to exercise their rights.
The article that you're referring to, it does quote the Cook County Sheriff's Department, Tom Dart's office, and they haven't changed their stance at all. They are still objecting for every little infraction they possibly can to someone getting a concealed carry license. Even if there was no arrest, no conviction, if there was simply a police report written on someone, but disturbance with a neighbor or whatever, any little bitty thing, they are objecting to that person getting a carry license. That person then has to go before a review board. If the review board denies them, then they have to go to court. And so he's not changed his stance at all. And at some point, I believe the people of Chicago and Cook County are just going to have to realize that they need a different sheriff in town.
Talking with Valinda Rowe from Illinois Carry. Listen, Valinda, thank you so much for coming on the program today. It is always a pleasure to get a chance to spend some time with you, and I'm really glad to hear that things are going well in Illinois.
Thank you. Thank you for helping us get the word out.
My pleasure. We'll talk again soon.
You bet.
Valinda Rowe with us right here on NRA News, Cam and Company.